Hello and hey, this is Zerogokin Reviews, and today we'll be looking at the Figma Bondrewd Gangway version, also called Ascending to the Morning Star version. But you know what? The sun rises too. Let's talk about Made in Abyss. It's basically a slice-of-life anime where naive dumbass kids go into a nightmare pit. Which is a pretty great contrast, and it works really well. Actually, if you live in Asia, you can watch all the episodes of Season 1 and the currently airing Season 2 for free here on YouTube. But if you don't, you can use a VPN. So did I just so happen to partner with a VPN to give you a great deal on a great service? No. So who is Bondrewd?
そういえばまだ名乗っていませんでしたね。私はボンドルド。アビスの探掘家。
Appearing mostly in the non-recap movie, he's a man of science and discovery, a man of logic and reason, who will take his conclusions all the way into hell. And back. Even though he's technically the antagonist for the movie, he turns out to be quite redeemable. No wonder he's called the, Bondrewd. Before I talk about how sick he looks, I want to talk about this box. So if you own a Figma, you're probably aware of what the boxes are like. They're fine, but not the most sturdy, regardless of how tenuous I feel it is, which I'll get to later. This is a DX Figma, which means it gets a DX box, making it double sturdy, and most importantly, much more stylish. Speaking of which, this motherfucker is a pretty stylish looking motherfucker. I really do find the look of this design in figure form to be just wonderful. I want to say it looks like he's got sort of a Victorian fit because, you know, I played Bloodborne. Wait, no I haven't. For the gain of PC...
Should be left well alone.
For the gain of PC, cowards. That's a big lady. I don't know shit about fashion. I will say the helmet does kind of give me the vibes of like a Zeton suit if they were to add it to that one Ultraman manga. It's probably mostly because the vertical visor isn't an eye design that gets evoked all too often. As such, the only thing that comes to mind at the moment is Zeton, although it doesn't really have a tail. At least not usually. I think Hyper Zeton counts. Regardless, don't worry. He's not a furry. As currently depicted, he only has aspirations of such a notion. I love you, cock waffle. Gulp. Syrup. And honestly, this tail is cool. What, you don't like Godzilla? So earlier I called him a motherfucker because he's a daddy. And not just any daddy, he's best dad. If you're out of the loop, Ara Ara is for MILFs, Oya Oya is for DILFs, which begs the question, is he hot? Well, I don't know, I've never seen his face. Although he certainly does come off that way. Probably because he's voiced by Morikawa Toshiyuki, who also voices Kira Yoshikage. And like, come on. To keep this video heterosexual, I'm going to put on latex gloves and start feeling this guy up. Articulation is actually a little better than usual. You get a double bend, which is atypical for a Figma, but there are things you wouldn't be able to do without this. And despite it being rather loose to the point of moderate inconvenience, it's a welcome addition. Either way. Alright, it's finally time to talk about this. So this figure comes in two versions, the regular version and the DX version. I won't get into too much detail, but basically there are actually different versions of Bondrewd. One of them has the backpack and the tail, and there are ones that don't. So in the DX version, you get the backpack and you get the tail. And in the regular version, you also get the backpack and the tail. Just looking at this announcement image, you could speculate that they want them to be more different, but the only difference ended up just being the heads. So yeah, in the DX version, you additionally get this head, which just kind of feels silly. It's not even that much of a difference in price. I guess not everyone is interested in figures with LEDs, which as you'd expect is powered by some nonsense mystical battery that I've never fucking heard of. This is called the Gangway head. The usual problem that comes with the light only coming from a little LED isn't really a problem here, because yeah, that's how that looks.
Gangway.
If you're wondering why I had it on for most of the video, it's because, at least according to my friend who recorded a lot of the footage, the paint for the eye on the regular head isn't as nice looking. That being said, there is a decent enough reason to have that one. For starters, it has a larger range of articulation, but more importantly, you're not going to have this on forever, because that's not how that works. I'm sorry to be the one who tells you this, but death comes for us all, even if you're a battery. That's actually a good segue for how you get these, which aren't really all that interesting. You'd be amazed by the kind of stuff you could fit into something like this, which I guess they aren't really batteries. It's a little more complicated, but they're basically packets that help him ascend from the abyss. That's why you can put them in his backpack. This can open and close, which I gotta admit it to you is pretty hand. I'm happy this one doesn't have the extra secure pegs. For figures that hold heavy stuff, I get it, but otherwise I find it needlessly inconvenient. You might say, I'm sorry Mr. Druid, but isn't that like a bit impractical? Well, you can't put them in the front since you can already shoot shit from these holes. What is there to not understand? It seems the usual Figma stand is kinda letting itself go, which I guess is fitting since the figure is certainly bigger. Guts, Mazinger, Ludens. Overall, it's alright. Yeah, no, that's how I'm ending this. Thank you to the patrons. Actually, I have something important to say. You know how I keep calling this person some kind of variant of a fucking dumbass? Yeah, I'm gonna do that again. Fucking dumbass. Of course, thank you to Photon Lab Reviews for their recording contributions, plus lending this figure to me, although I did end up getting one for myself. And I'll see y'all next time.
Yo, sick bonus.